Hello, everyone, and thank you for watching Northwest Public Broadcasting's Vote 2026 coverage of the 4th Congressional District primary in Washington State. That 4th district has been long held by Dan Newhouse, but after announcing in December he would not seek re-election, that left a seat open for one of 11 candidates on the primary ballot. My name is Matt Lovelace. Today, we at Northwest Public Broadcasting, in collaboration with AARP of Washington State and the League of Women Voters of Benton and Franklin counties and the League of Women Voters of Yakima County, are helping you get to know some of these candidates. Some newcomers, some familiar challengers, and we have some questions for them. This is not a debate nor a forum. We have taken the opportunity to schedule time with the candidates one-on-one. We'd like our viewers and listeners to consider this a bit of a video voter's guide, where we've collaborated on a series of questions. Each candidate will get all of these same questions and the same opportunity to answer. We'll time the responses here in our NWPB studio on the WSU Tri-Cities campus. We thank you for watching. Welcome to NWPB's Vote 2026 primary election coverage as we get to know candidates in the 4th Congressional District primary. The candidate here now is Favian Valencia. Mr. Valencia, a civil rights attorney, business owner in Yakima. We thank you for being here today, sir.
Thank you for having me, Matt.
Let's talk about some questions as provided by the League of Women Voters and AARP of State of Washington. And the first one's about affordability and the cost of living, which, especially for older Americans and people in our district, utilities, gas prices, groceries continue to go up. What kind of legislative policy, what kind of federal action do you think you could take in Congress to help alleviate that for some people?
So thanks for the question, Matt. That's actually one of the things I've been asked about quite a bit. So when Trump was elected, when we elected him, since then I've been rooting for him. And I've been rooting for him because he said that as soon as he got into office, he was going to bring down inflation. He was going to keep America first and keep us out of wars. And the reason I bring that up is because that's exactly what's squeezing people right now. The prices of gas, prices of groceries, people trying to put food in on their table for their kids. That's the low-hanging fruit that we really need to tackle immediately. I feel that we need to stop the tariffs. That's one of the biggest things that's made it so that our grocery bills, the prices at the pump have skyrocketed, and so that's one of the things that we really need to focus on as far as getting affordability to be better. And then once we take care of that, we'll be able to focus on other things. But I think that's one of the things that we need to tackle first.
All right. The next question talks about voting. The election process itself is a big topic nationally. Here in Washington, of course, we have mail-in voting. State also offers other options. What are your thoughts on that in terms of maintaining access, balancing election security, and maintaining the public confidence in our election process?
So I believe that voting is up there with serving in the military and doing jury duty. I think voting is one of the most sacred responsibilities that we have as citizens. So I take that very seriously. I think our vote is sacred as citizens here in our country. So I believe that we need to make sure that it's protected, and I think we're doing a good job of that. There's things in place to make sure that there is no voter fraud. I've followed along with the things that we have in place as far as making sure that it's one person, one vote, that only people that can vote can actually vote. And then it's a felony to commit voter fraud. So I support mail-in ballot. I believe that allows access. We've been doing that in Washington for as long as I can remember, and it works for us. We make sure that it's a fair system. And we make sure, I believe that we have some of the highest, it's not very good, but we have some of the highest voting percentages as far as per capita. We can do better, but I believe that our system is we need to see it through, make sure that we keep enforcing the laws, go after people that try to cheat the system, and so protect that access and allow our people to exercise that right.
in election security onto a topic AARP cares a lot about is Social Security. And certainly as people anticipate changes to the Social Security program, I'm curious where you stand on protecting or strengthening Social Security, not just for this generation, but for future ones.
Yes, so Social Security is something that we pay into. It's something that we've earned, that people have earned from a lifetime of working, of serving our community. So it's something that needs to be maintained, that needs to be secured, make sure it's long lasting. As we know, at the rate that we're going, it could become insolvent by 2032. That's one of the things that we need to make sure that we don't allow. We need to make sure that people pay their fair share. We need to find every angle that we can to make sure that there is no reductions in that benefit that people have earned, and we need to make sure that it stays solvent. It's something that people rely on, people paid into, are expecting and deserve and should be protected.
And speaking of protecting our aging communities, we're talking about caregiving, and not just for those aging communities, but for the people who care for them. If you're elected, how would you help those people save time and save money to care for their loved ones?
Yes, so I do think there needs to be, these people need to be compensated. Currently, my family's taking care of my dad. He's going through some very difficult times, and I know that a lot of people have to, a lot of times, stop working to be full-time caring in our elderly's homes. So we need to find ways to make sure that that's actually compensated. So I would actually look for ways to actually increase the way that we actually compensate people that stay at home and care for their loved ones. It saves our community money by keeping people in their homes. It protects our people's dignity and their self confidence. We also need to find tax incentives to help these people that are staying at home and helping our elderly population.
All right, thank you very much. And our last question is about tribal relations. Certainly, if you made your way from Yakima to Richland here, you've passed the Yakima Reservation. And so I'm curious what you think your role would be in terms of government-to-government relationships as you represent this district in Congress.
Yeah, so my role would be to reach out and engage, and actually engage with the leaders at the Yakima Nation, at the tribal leaders across our state, across our country. We have contracts that we've signed with them, treaties. We've given our word to a lot of these things, and we need to make sure that we engage them. And actually, one thing that comes to mind is some of the electricity. Water retaining electricity projects that are happening in the Goldendale area. I know there's been a lot of it's been challenging for the tribal community because they were not brought to the table when these plans were made, and they had to find out from secondhand knowledge. So my role will be to actually engage with them, find ways to work together. Make sure that their position is heard, that they can contribute and engage with us as my slogan is better together, and so my goal is to reach out to all our constituents, including the people in the Yakima Nation and the tribal nations across the state.
All right. Well, Mr. Valencia, I told you it would be quick. That's the end of our Q&A. Favian Valencia, candidate for the 4th Congressional District here in Washington State. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Matt.
We want to thank everybody for watching these conversations with candidates in the 4th Congressional District of Washington. And a reminder, ballots go out beginning the 17th of July. That begins an 18-day period to vote. We encourage you to vote early, as the top 2 candidates in this primary will move on to the general. The official primary election day is August 4th. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of Benton and Franklin County, the League of Yakima County, and AARP of Washington State, we thank you for watching Northwest Public Broadcasting and our Vote 2026 coverage.